edition of InvestData Trading Academy live with Ambrose. Yes, this is the mid trading day of the week. Yes, at this midweek, I'll tell you that most of the matured market are flat. And why, if you look at the African market, talking about the NGX here, NGX also looking marginally down in the red at this moment. But I'll tell you that we'll see a lot of factors driving the global market up and down, and investor must pay attention to this. That we're seeing a weak market in NGS or in Africa in this market is not peculiar to us. We are seeing that it's a trend we are seeing globally. Both the matured market and also the emerging market are missed as we speak now. Why most of the market also are flat, waiting for one trigger or the other, knowing that yes, we're already the last approaching the last months of the year, and tell you that these activities will likely to oscillate up as we see more economic data and more policies and also direction from the government as they roll out plans for 2026. That will also guide investors in anywhere in the world to know the kind of sectors and kind of decisions they are making, where they should pay their attention. Should they go for safe havens and instruments? Should they go to windows that that risk is very small, or should they also hold on to their equities, or should I also go back to what the bitcoins and others investment window? But the general thing that as we speak now, that the market is very, very mixed in the matured market, and I believe that investors anywhere you are at this point need to understand what is happening in your domain and how can you take advantage of it to realign your portfolio to suit what you want, because there are many factors that drive market activities. And if you look at today's topic for this class, we're saying that the people, the policy, and the perception on NGS today. And that is not only there, it's across all stock market as we speak. What is the perception of the people? What are they saying and where are they heading from there? That is very, very important for every one of us at this moment to also consider, because it will go a long way to give us an insight to what we should be expecting from the market, so that we will take the right decision at the right time. Once this is done, I will tell you that investors anywhere you are will also be interested to see where is the market going, and also what are the policies of the government in terms of what activities that will drive economic direction. All these are very, very important as to speak now, and that is why we must look at what is happening in the environment, and that will go a long way to help anyone that is trading or investing at this moment to take action, because that is the only way you can also understand what is happening around you. Once you're able to do that, I'm telling you that you as a trader investor will be able to make what informed investment decision that will impact your portfolio positively or not. That means you must pay attention to what is happening around you, and once you're able to know that, I tell you, you are good to go, because there are other factors that are really influence activities in the market. But once you're able to take those factors and play and put them in the place where they're supposed to be, you're able to make what informed investment decision anytime, any day. And that's why you must understand the activities of the people, the policy direction, and also what when I mean policy, I'm talking about government generally, who comes with a lot of things, the monetary policy, fiscal policy, all these, and also what is the perception? Perception is the sentiment, the confidence, all this. What are the people? The people are also the retail investor, institutional market players generally. We'll be looking at all this. Let's look at what has happened so far in the matured market as we speak. Yes, I can see that Asia market has opened early, marginally, but as we speak now, it is getting also into what a lower activities and also looking down again. And as I say, most of the market are flat. I'll tell you that data that's coming from from China and that of Japan has not even helped matter, as the investor trying to navigate these informations and to process it to make what inform investment decision. And don't forget that in all this, we're seeing that the only market that remains a bit in green is the Indian market. But we can see that the major factor that is also in kind of influencing the major market is what valuation of what, or let's say valuation concern of many high tech companies, and this has also impacted most of this market averages indices of this market. But now that these high tech companies are also having issue in terms of the valuation concern, that also are way down there, especially as all eyes are still on earnings of all from Nvidia. This also Nvidia, this also going to have influence on the market, not only today, until this result come and give direction for where the market is going. That is what the general market is witnessing right away across the globe. But I believe that investors can also take advantage of what all this price oscillation to position their portfolio for end of the year. Don't forget that money companies are also set to take advantage of what is happening now to position for end of the year, because that is the only way also they can take advantage of what of the market to create wealth for themselves. Why there's a little delay that the site we use to get the live feed for the what's happening in the market, that issue is not coming up, is delaying coming up. That's why we have to come to our own software to see what the market closed yesterday. We wanted to see the feed of what the market is doing today, and I'll still check whether when it has also you can see that it's still rolling, it's not up yet, whether it's their own internet or I don't know, since one was waiting to come up, it's yet to come up. But let's continue our discussion. And I know if you look at what is also happening in the Europe market right now, Europe market is also extending a flat market, but there's an indicator that ECB in Europe might likely keep rate on hold throughout or through to enter into 2026, because the rate cut has been so far manifesting a kind of a given indication of what is happening in the economy over there, and that's also playing out as we speak. For me, it's also a good news for them. But as all eyes are still on this Nvidia earnings today, we expect to see that market will react to this, not only in Europe, not only in US or in Asia. That will give an insight where the valuation concern has been a major issue within this period. But good news that we are seeing that most of the market also adjusting to what they have seen already in the market to make what inform investment decision. But I believe that the investors are also looking at the minutes expected for my Fed to give also the next policy direction. All these are factors that I think that also is playing out in the market as we speak. Even when no uncertainties of rate is also there, but also concern for physical recovering, good price, and all these are factors that also invest in the market. But for good news that investors are looking at where it is safe haven, where should they pay attention to right now, and that tells you that it's good for you as a trader or investor to understand what is happening in the environment, because in an environment where there is a kind of instability, either in the bond market or in the equity market, investor appetite for market for the equity or for bond are bound to drop. But that's why you must understand how you are taking your investment decision and where you are positioning at at any given time. That will guide you to make what informed investment decision as trader or investor. Don't just stay in the market for staying sake. You must understand what is driving the market and where the market is going from where it is. That will help you a long way to make what informed investment decision. But if you look at also, like I said, generally consider the commodity price is also a kind of saw a breakout in oil price. Today oil price hitting in both in as we view what is happening in Asia market and Europe market. When you see oil price moving up like this, it's also a trigger of what is expected also in the environment, because you don't see investors jumping out of position. But if you see them also looking the way of oil, that means there's an opportunity there, because I believe that the minutes that will come from also will fair that also will conclude give enough insight where we're going. But so like we have seen that Bitcoin have rebounded, oil price, we see oil price also looking up. All this also for today also will tell you that there's something investors are saying in this market that also we need to pay attention. Yes, let's look at what is happening in US market before we come to see NGX. We can see the people, the policy, and the perception on NGX today. How is it changing the market? How is it impacting the market positively or negatively? We want to see that after a brief rebound, what are we seeing again? We're seeing kind of a weak market. What are the factors responsible for that? Now we come to the topic of today. We're also going to say how you also should navigate this kind of situation. As we speak, US market is flat. I will tell you that that the market is flat as more quarterly earnings are expected. Especially, I told you that all eyes are still on this Nvidia quarterly result. That also want to give insight of all this concern for valuation for of high-tech companies, especially companies that also are into what artificial intelligence and all those stuff. Focus is on this result to see how far it's going to reveal things to investors in that environment, and tell you that this is not going to happen just only to US. It will also spill over to Asia and Europe, and that's why it's to speak now, most of the market are flat, and also we're seeing a mixed performance. And also, as an investor, as I said earlier, it's going to see more economic data that are coming. All these economic data are giving an insight of, how how customers, or let's say consumer confidence in US, and at the same time, the health of the economy. These are the things also. As also we expect to see the minutes from the Federal Reserve October monetary policy meeting also will be released. That also will give more information as investor and that client, and also paying attention to that. But as we speak now, today earlier that this Wednesday midweek, I'll say that most of the markets are flat. As also I can see now that Dow Jones is also flat. I can tell you that it's on change, and the main flights on change. We're seeing also S&P 500 is on change. Even NASDAQ 100 also on change. All these averages, saw a sank or kind of a red movement yesterday, and that was extended also to this hour to speak, fueled by war, by concern over debt rising, and also on the artificial companies, artificial intelligence companies, and also tech sector valuation. These are good on the market because those stocks are like high cap stocks that we have here that is weighing on this market, on their market, and as we speak right now, and that's why you see investors are trying to navigate, even as more earnings are coming. We see some that are good, some also below expectation. But with all this, it's weighing on the market. But I believe that as all eyes are still on these tech companies, when it comes, we give insight to what investors should expect in that because we expect that the artificial intelligence market has been valued for almost we are seeing that it's having an evaluation of almost for the future. It's a sector that I would say that will drive the global economy, even when it might cause some job loss and so forth. We are seeing potential because of expansion, and that's why people are saying is it over bloated the evaluation. But I believe that with the result that we're expecting, it will give a clue, and that will also change the expectation of people in that market. But with the report also expecting for retail market from that in the US, so that also give also insight of that. We are looking at US market now. I told you about expecting to see the Fed minutes. This also, like I mentioned earlier, when I was paying on that market, that we saw a strong rebound. Today on Bitcoin, which is also good after was seeing a decline even below $90,000. We saw that we trying to also rebound at this hour. I mentioned oil has also looking up as we speak. So we'll come to Africa market. If you come to Africa market, I'll say that Africa market is mixed. But if you tailor it to the most of the major market, talk of South Africa, Kenya, I talk about Ghana, talk of Nigeria. See, this market are mixed as we speak. But if you look at NGX right now, I say that NGX is still very, very much in the red right now as we speak. And this will reflect what the kind of investor looking to see what is happening in this market. That is what I am expecting right away for us to also know, because it's very, very important as a trader. Pay attention to all this because they are very, very important. But coming back to see our market is having a right now to speak. It's red. We're seeing that the market is really having a negative market. We're having a 23 decliner against 11 gainers right now. And also the market is trading at 144,639.58, range toward a range of 144,972.44. This is the market rate. The market is down in terms of basic point 298.72 basic point, getting 0.21 down in the red. This is the state of the market right now, or market data, if I would put it that way. But one thing that we need to go at our topic today span through looking at the people, the policy, and the perception of the market on the NGX. And that I will tell you that it has a lot of influence right now as we speak. But if you look at what I was saying, that NGX today is primarily induced by activities of market players, consist of retail, institutional, and foreign investors, which we call smart money, in a complex and evolving economy with policy somersault as we are seeing, or policy formation or policy advice that are still not consistent with keeping the economy in the green has been a major problem. As we speak now, the perception of the market today has changed because of simple policy statement or policy direction or misguided or uncertainties that come with policy of government. I would say that the policy of government we have seen so far in terms of reduction of exchange rate, we have seen remove of subsidy. Yes, the economy is trying to recover. The economy has not entered a good trajectory. It's still recovering. We are still around below 4% GDP. But we're going to see GDP of Nigeria has gone as high as 6.8 before now. We are not yet there. This policy that called policy of now, apart from all the reforms in the tax environment, the fiscal policy, which we're going to also discuss, we'll see that yes, the perception and the way the capital tax gain has come, even today that government is going to review it, but the perception that I've given them, I tell you that capital stays where it's welcome. With that statement alone, that you're moving your capital tax from gain tax from 10% to 30, I've scaled funds away from this market. I will tell you, those funds will only wait to see direction before they come back. Whether you are reviewing or not, that is why in any environment, policy statement is very important, or written body language, but also how you go about written. I will tell you that the only thing that is working effectively, we can say today in the Nigerian economy, is this capital market. But with this context, like is the market have been valuable. Still, because of the economy and the community of exchange are still doing okay, are still very, very much positive. That is the only way the market is having now. But I tell you that in any market, liquidity is the major capital, the major fundamental that market need. Why others like corporate earnings, economy is fine, but when there is corporate earnings, there's no liquidity, the market will struggle. That means we must pay attention to our capital formation anytime, any day. Let's look inward and see. In today's market, the mix of caution and optimism, perception, optimism and perception, drives any market of the world. So the people in the people in the market are actively managing their portfolio by trading or taking what gains and also seeking new opportunity, which is part of the market. I will say that profit taking is part of what market dynamics. We must have it at the back of our mind. When you see people, they are the ones that control the market. Whether you call them retail investor, you call them social investor, you call them portfolio, whether foreign investor, they are people in the market. It is what you are doing, your policy, because the way they interpret it will also determine how the market. That means any government, any market has to take advantage of recognize the people, their perception, and also the policy of the government of either the market regulators, the government, anyone, the economic managers. You must be very sensitive in what you are saying when it comes to policy direction, because it will either balloon or also kind of inflate your economy positively or deflate it negatively. It all depends on your policy direction. That is why I said the policy formation and implementation style of any government or economic managers will determine the level of confidence and positive sentiment depending on what? On the economic performance, implementation, and also timing of new policy or reviewing policy. Timing is very, very key. When it comes to policy formation, policy implementation, you need to work what are the right time to do it. Yes, the economy is just coming up. Even when the government seek to raise funds from, we know that we need to raise more revenue to drive our to support our budget and all. But we must do it with start and also must do it with well planned and also after wide world consultation. We can see that this fund I've left is not only going to affect the market, it's also if care is not taken. Even the negative trade we're having from an external body, the one that we can control, we are already using our own policy to deflate them. We need to think back. That's why I said policy implementation is very, very important, and timing is also very, very important. How you go about it is key. The current and the expected policy in 2026 is marked by what is marked by potential changes that investors should also look at, because it has a way of also influencing action. That means you need to understand the policy direction of the government, whether it is fiscal monetary policies. You need to pay attention ahead of what 2026, and that is why for those that already have made payments for invest 2026, I say kudos, you have made action, because we're going to look where are we going to, where are we going to stay, because it's very, very important. Being pre-election year, you have to know. You have to know where are you going to build your tent or where are you going to stay away. Which sector, which policies or the government is going to support this sector or not. You must pay attention to that. It's very, very important, so that you as a trader or investor will not stay away from the market. That means you must understand what is happening in the market. It's very, very important, and that is why we must pay attention to it anytime, any day. These are the things that we should have at the back of our mind. And that's why I said you need to understand where the market is going or the economy is going in 2026, because every investment is against the future, not past record or past performance. If this policy direction of the government start changing, you need to pay attention. Yes, we have seen the inflation figure for the month of October, which was seen that yet it still went further southward, which also support expectation of what either 50 basis points, 100 basis points from what from rate cut come November, FCC meeting, which is a week from now. We are going to see them. Then also you must look at what is the monetary policy doing, fiscal policy, and also uncertainties on this capital gain tax. It has also have also weakened the market as we speak. How it came about management, pronunciation, how the committee went about doing it. These are why we are saying this. But I believe that despite what we are saying now, there is still opportunity in the market, but it has to be those that also understand how to realign their goal and their objective, because you have to change your trading plan. The plan you use from January to this time has to change between the rest of the year and the year we are entering, and that's why you must make yourself available for what Invest 2020. It's very, very important. If you talk about the perception aspect of trading or what is happening on the NGX today, investor confidence is significant driver of what any market. Which NGS is also a market. We need to have this thing working. When you see a positive sentiment, it's going to reflect on flow of funds. And I've said in this slide that one of the factors or indicator I use as a leading indicator in this market is what money flow. Where is demand and supply? Where is it going? And it is about confidence that also will drive this demand and supply. That's why perception is very, very key. You must know have it either psychology, call it. You must know that in any market, this is a very powerful tool. Currently, NGS is characterized with what a mix of optimism and caution, and that determines that we must pay attention to those factors that are driving what the optimism, and that are the what strong economic data we have seen so far. I will tell you that also the positive corporate earnings and we have seen, and the expectation of at the end of the year is also very, very important, because at the end of 2025, many companies that had December at year end in our market today will have more than 75 to 80% of the company investing that are December. That means we are going to see a change for perception. One will start saying what the unaudited account in January, and that also inform how market also going to move. And this liquidity have left the market. If at the end of the day we are seeing another rate cut, I see one some fund returning back to the market, which also good. You can see the power of what people, policy, and perception on NGS today. You must understand that yes, caution and uncertainties around the environment of the nation. Why I mean very well, insecurity is increasing. You can see people kidnapping around there. We must know that it's a concern. That's why I say caution and uncertainties. What is about insecurity is increasing, and also people are looking at with that to attract Trump coming in as we have had, as we have said, as when Nigeria been designated as a country of a particular concern. These are the things that we also look at, and also in this, what also drive particular is that you need to know the volume in the market. Is the volume market representing, or is it telling the story of what institutional investors is selling out of the market or buying? Is the retail investors still holding their position? These are the things that we should pay attention to as a trader or investor in this market, because that is the only way you can stay ahead of this market. And I believe that what the market is doing today, there are some value stock I need to start rearranging your portfolio to, because I said it earlier, some stock we have seen that have free rally, we are seeing them rally because of either because of the perception in that country or because of the leaders are high, they want to start coming up. That will change a little between now and what as we start seeing another 100 account in January, where investors will know where to pin their net again. But for now, that means you need to change your strategy to stay ahead of this market. That is the only way you can make money in this market. And I believe that as a trader investor, like I said, you don't stay one position. You look at what is happening in the market, realign your goals, your trading plan to what is happening in the market, so that you can stay ahead of the market. Yes, you might not get it 100% because nobody has no 100 control of the market. The market will do what it's going to do, but your ability to navigate what is happening in the market and stay on this on the both sides of the market, you also put in your profit. As we speak now, even market have pulled back. There are some portfolios that are still in good profit, where some are already in red because they entered the peak. And that's why I always say that market will always come to the mean. Whether it has gone up or down, it must come over time to see. That's why when I see market pulling back, coming back again. But as far as the market is above the T line, it's below the T line, it's a sign of weakness. Once it crosses the wall, we'll not say yes, strength has come. But for me, there's no cause for alarm in this market right now. But there's an opportunity for us to realign our portfolio along the sector, along the power of earnings, also along what the volume and also players in the market. It's very, very important. What is the shareholding structure of the company? Who are the players in that stock? We know that today that our high cap stocks are played by foreign investors, and if they are not buying or they are not selling, it's going to help the market to stay where it is. But if they are buying, the market, if they start selling, that will also kind of deflate the market. But as we speak now, I say most of the high cap stocks are relatively stable, or less the ones that should have pulled back, but I also weighed on our index. But like I said, that index is not only the factor you use to work to determine. Go to your sectoral indices and also see what is happening in that sector to guide you to make what informed investment decision. On this note, because of our time, I will say thank you. We are sorry that we start a bit late, but our time is up. Thank you and see you on Friday.